Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Did you know I have a Patreon? You can go over there and support the channel. Now onto the stories. Case file number 883, written by King Bullvife. The universe exiled me. I worked at a car rental agency a couple years ago. Part of the job was picking up customers at the auto body shop and bringing them to our office to put them in a rental car. This particular day, I was supposed to pick up a guy at a shop that was only a 3-minute drive from the office. Notes on his reservation said to pick him up at around 11:30. I left the office at 11:25 and headed over. When I pulled onto the lot of the shop, the door to the main office, waiting room, service counter, etc. was open. The garage bay doors were also open. But there were cars in the garage in various states of repair and such, but no customers. In fact, no employees, no one at all. No customers in the waiting room, no one behind the counter, no one in the garage is working on any cars. There were even a couple cars parked in the small lot, but no people. I walked around the entire perimeter of the building and waited about 10 minutes. No one showed up. So I headed back to our office and told my boss no one was there. Our phone rings about 2 minutes after I'm back at work. The customer says that he's at the shop and is waiting for us to pick him up. I didn't mention that I was already there, I just went again. When I get to the shop, there's a guy behind the counter, 2 or 3 customers in the waiting room, about 5 or 6 guys in the garage working on cars, and my customer standing by his car, getting a few belongings out of it. Oddly enough, it's one of the cars that was already there in the first time I went. Still no idea what happened. It's like I was in an empty version of the property with no characters spawned in yet. Case notes for file 883. The universe exiled me. So exactly along the lines of the final line of your story is where my mind was going with all this, where I do believe there are transitory periods, servers that are dead, quote unquote, where no one else is in them, or maybe like 10 people that are just in a transitory phase towards the new universe they're going to occupy. It's like a lobby, just waiting to load in. And so yeah, you're in this place, somehow you had died, or for some reason we're crossing over to a new universe, and of course no one was in it, so you just wind up in this auto body place and no one's there, and you're so confused, and then you go back, you're finally loaded into the new server, and then the guy that, you're not in the original universe anymore, but he still exists in the new universe, which you probably won't notice any differences, because there are usually almost none, if any at all, because every new universe is spawned from the tiniest of interaction. It could be something as simple as an atom bumping into another one. Differently than in a different universe. There's different branching paths just from that. It could be as small as that, where it's not discernible at all to us. So anyways, you're there, he's waiting and wondering why the hell you didn't show up, even though you did go, you just didn't go in that proper universe. You were quite a distance away. But you can't tell him that, because I don't think he'd understand. I do think, however, that our memories are supposed to be wiped of going to this transitory period. And for some reason not being recently. Because these stories are popping up all over the place, and I've never heard of them until like the last year, like the last few months even. It's very strange that we're remembering them. Case file number 884, written by The Killers 22, the diapers that disprove reality. I'm half convinced my baby's diaper bag is a portal. I keep a lot of things in there, as moms tend to do. With the seasons being temperamental, I often have to entirely empty it so I can redo his spare outfits to be long sleeve, short sleeve, and so on. My husband and I always buy Kirkland brand diapers, always have. They are generic, they just have random cartoon animals on them that aren't licensed characters. Twice now, I found diapers in the bag I've never seen before. One was a Sesame Street diaper, another one was Finding Nemo. I have no idea where these came from, and neither does my husband. In a true stay-at-home mom fashion, I have no life or friends, and I just hang out with my husband, my mom, or my sister. None of them would slip a random diaper in the bag and not tell me. Plus, where would one even get one single diaper instead of an entire pack? Anyway, pray for me and my reality-shifting diaper bag. Case notes for file 884. The diaper bag that disproves reality. So yeah, I wouldn't disprove the possibility that this is indeed just some kind of prank. If you want to mess with the mom, mess with the diapers, right? Just add random ones that shouldn't be there. It's conceivable. Just weird that your mom or sister or husband, no one is mentioning that it's a prank. It could be that though. If I had to bet money, I'd probably strike it up to that. Now, another possibility is that objects can de-render and re-render from within universes. So, if humans can cross over their souls, maybe physical matter can too, which would explain why some things reappear in places that they belong in, basically, but they're just a little different sometimes. That's actually very interesting. I could see that. It would indeed explain why there's a diaper in your bag that is higher brand quality, not Kirkland. I mean, they're still reappearing in your bag though. Maybe it's just something you had bought in a different universe, it de-rendered in that one, and re-rendered in this one. It was assigned the wrong universal code, I guess. Case file number 885, written by Munchie 612. The Necklace to Rule Them All. I was in my late 20s or early 30s. I'm in my 70s now and still amazed by this. I bought a silver ring at an art festival, had the ring part, that goes on your finger, cut off, and the rest of the ring made into a charm to wear on a chain. I wore it every day, 24/7, never removed it, and constantly rubbed it like a worry stone. Because it was cut off a ring, it had a lumpy texture, and I was always playing with it. One night during intimacies with my then boyfriend, the pendant kept hitting him in the face, so I took it off and tossed it across the room into my vanity table. I heard it hit the table and slide off, assuming it landed on the carpet. Next morning, I couldn't find it. Not anywhere on the carpet, not stuck to any part of the vanity, not in any drawer, nowhere. Oh yeah, forgot to mention that the chain it was on had a broken clasp and I had it closed with a safety pin. I had never had it repaired. Also, I always thought that because I spent so much time rubbing this charm, if I ever lost it, it would find its way back to me. I often said this in a half-joking manner. So about 6 months later, an acquaintance of mine, a friend of a friend, called me at around 1 a.m., pleading with me to bring some migraine medication to her work, which was quite far from my home. She was suffering, so I got the medication and drove to her workplace at Parkway General Hospital. There were only 2 or 3 cars in the parking lot due to the time of day, with only me walking across the parking lot to the back entrance of the hospital, and one other person, a woman who was a housekeeper at the hospital in her uniform. I looked at her and what the hell on earth? My necklace was around her neck. I was practically hypnotized as I walked towards her, and when I got to her, I reached for the charm and pendant and said, "You're wearing my necklace, give it back to me." She said no, it's hers, that her brother had given it to her for her birthday. I said, "This is my necklace and I want it back, I know it is." I described the rough back to her and the broken chain and said, "That's my chain, it's broken and held together with a safety pin. Please take it off." She did remove it, and yes, it was the broken chain with the safety pin. She said she wanted to call her brother, so we went into the hospital, walking down empty hallways with me wondering if she was going to end me there. We got to a phone and she dialed her brother's number. While waiting for someone to answer, I came to my senses and said, "That is my necklace. I want it back and I want it now. I'm not leaving here without it." Amazingly, she wordlessly took the necklace off and placed it over my head and on my neck. I said, "Thank you," and walked away to find my friend and give her her medicine. I asked anyone and everyone who might have been in my house since the night I tossed the necklace onto the vanity table, and no one had been in my house or my bedroom since the night I tossed it. No one had vacuumed my carpet. I still cannot fathom how my necklace moved from my vanity in South Miami and ended up on the neck of a housekeeper who worked at a hospital 45 minutes north of my home. She was a perfect stranger to me. This is the glitchiest of all glitches that I've ever experienced. Case notes for file 885, the necklace to rule them all. So the only logical, mundane explanation I can think of is that your boyfriend found the ring when you tossed it to the vanity table. He didn't like it for some reason, maybe because it kept banging him during the intimacies. So he pawned it off without you knowing. Somehow it ended up in this housekeeper's hands from her brother. But, I mean, the odds of that, so many layers of travel in that, it's kind of extraordinary, even if it is just mundane in that way. Also, I have to say, props to you for going all that distance just to help someone that you said it was like an acquaintance of an acquaintance. You help someone who is suffering, so that's very kind of you. And I know I've had migraines in my life, it's not pleasant, so anything to help alleviate that in someone else is very, very appreciated. Creepy file number 70, written by theevilpackrat, The Mysterious Wire. I'm a truck driver. I'm very fortunate because I'm paid by the hour, not by the mileage of the trip. Because we are paid by the hour, we are told that vehicle inspections are part of the time of work, so unlike many truck drivers, we actually do full inspections every morning. Many claim they do vehicle inspections, but I only saw this company which now actually has drivers do it. So every morning around 6:30 a.m. or 5:30 a.m., I inspect my truck. I check for anything that damages oil levels and water. Strangely enough, one day I got a new wire attached to the exhaust system I had never seen before on the same truck I had been driving for a year. When I say a new wire, I should point out it's just new to me. It has some wear and tear of all the other parts of the engine, and it doesn't look new. It's only that I've never seen it before on the truck. That's about it. Just some stupid single wire. Nothing glamorous or cool, just wire that did not exist the previous day. No, it was not in the shop getting worked on. Nobody was paid to install it in the middle of the night. One day it appeared, and that's it. Case notes for the creepy file, number 70, The Mysterious Wire. So this does strike me as probably just some human that installed a device onto the truck for some reason. Although based on your other comments in the thread, I don't think it's a camera, but it might be a low voltage GPS tracker. Maybe there's some reason that some competing company or individual would want to track your truck's movements. I'm not sure, but maybe see if you can find where the wire is going to exactly. You may find some weird device, or maybe blocked off by some metal shielding or something to make it look like it's part of the truck. Just spitballing here, but maybe something like that. Very creepy though, I would say. I wouldn't want to drive that truck. You never know. Thus, my thoughts are concluded for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a great day. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Plenty more stories to come.